Hello, hello, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XI, and I appear to have accidentally talked to Toto-Rune upon starting recording. Super duper treasure, huh? Superb find. You want to know, don't you? Woohoo, it's true. What should Toto-Rune do? You want sugary things, huh? He gives me a hint for treasure if I bring him sugary things. Okay, whatever. Not at all how I intended to start this video, but, you know, whatever. So, I'm trying to get back in the swing of things with 11 here. I shouldn't need a Let's Play to do that, but, yeah, whatever. And we're going to start by doing some monthly Records of Imminence objectives, because the well, it's the end of September, and these monthly objectives aren't going to be there. And I'm kind of kicking myself thinking about it now, because I forgot about monthly objectives. And I think if I hadn't forgotten about them, I would be able to get Martial Mastery Primer 2 and get yet more merited weapon skills, but I forgot to continue doing them. So, that's a whole thing. Anywho, so we've got to do Archangel 3, which is Mithra, I believe, for the monthly battlefield. And this one's tricky because it can charm you. However, all you really need to do is control your enmity and have a solid tank trust. And we can control our enmity by using super jump, because we have master levels. Every job with Dragoon sub-job gains access to super jump after master level 5, I believe it is. And so you can use super jump to completely wipe the hate that your character gets. And I haven't donated a Monbiro this week because it's Friday night. It's like the end of the week. Anyway, Hurricane Helene. I don't know why they have to say it Helene. It's just Helen, okay? Helen, she blew on through. Oh no, don't summon your pet. Archangel Mithra-sama. I can't take your pet. There's absolutely no way that I'll eat your pet. No, I killed her pet already. No, that's okay though. So basically, if she turns towards us, we're gonna super jump. And she's probably gonna turn towards us because, let's get real here, we're strong as fuck. Let's see. One thing we could try doing is we could try using magical weapon skills, because they produce a lot less enmity than physical weapon skills. But the trick with that being, you know, our setup's not that great for them. They don't have a lot of power in that regard. And of course, super jumps on a, I guess, 3-minute timer. So that's a little bit sad, but eh. You just basically just gotta not use our strongest weapon skills here. Although the thing about the Archangels that's weird is that they have a symptom of being hate enmity is harder to control on them because they have a symptom of they're actually a level 75 cat monster that existed. They're a monster type that existed before. God damn it! I bet I didn't have any dots going on her either. I'd rather not die here, so if it comes to it, I'll warp out. Should have just gone ham on her after it became apparent that super jump alone was not gonna hold hate, or let Archangel Elven hold hate. I always enjoyed the Archangel theme, but I can't ever get over one of the first girlfriends, actually the very first girlfriend I ever had. She said she hated it. She's like, this is the worst music I've ever heard. And I was like, oh dear God, okay. Well, sad for me, I guess. Okay, let's just not even fuck around and put her in the ground. There you go. Yay, we did it. I don't think we got anything worthwhile. I don't know what a buried trait does. Let me look that up. Apparently it's used in saline broth, which is a broth for Beastmaster that summons Sharpwit Hermes, which is a Mandragora that's I-119. Looks like it has middling stats. It doesn't really have that great of stats. I guess it's an I-119 Mandragora that has all of the Mandragora moves. I'm still curious about Beastmaster sometimes. I'm sure you can get a lot of power out of it if you have it appropriately geared, just like everything else. I just never know what that power is. Also, I guess she had Dia 3 still going, so that's why she didn't regen. Remember to set your dots, people. Yeah, let's see. It's September 28th now, because it's past midnight. And the other monthlies are EXP chains and wanted stuff. And we haven't played in so long, we lost our Unity trust, which is, these days, is, oh, what is her name? I'll remember one of these days. Sylvie? What was I talking about? Blah. Yeah, we have to do enough records of eminence to get our Unity Trust back. Otherwise, we can't be as effective on our own. Maybe someone else is also doing... Oh, I've got to set the objective, of course, of course. Bounding Belinda, of course. And we just need to grab some haste. I was watching my buddy Apathetic AJ, he's still doing his Let's Play. His channel really seems to be prospering. I kind of wonder if I'd kept up with it more consistently, if I'd be on a similar track line, or if I would still be behind him. He overtook my channel at some point while I was still active. My wife says it's because he has a deep, gravelly voice. I can see that. Okay. EXP chains, huh? I don't think we're getting an EXP chain on anything here, but technically I guess we could go get one. Somewhere. Like, I don't think it'll have to be on... on Apex Monsters, although we could do that. When I logged in today, I was actually just gonna work on my campaign rank, and I started working on it, and I actually got 2 ranks, and we're up to, let's see, Steel Knight Emblem, I think. Yeah, Steel Knight Emblem. A solid steel emblem designed to resemble a crystal, awarded for outstanding achievements within the Allied campaign. And I was just gonna chill all night and like not record and just sort of like get my mojo back. My friend Jesse was like, "Oh my god, you're on." And I was like, "Oh, hey, you know, we missed talking to you on the auction house forum." And she was like, "You want to fill in for Ambuscade Very Difficult 1 or whatever?" I was like, I guess so. Let me just finish up this campaign battle. And I killed the Quadav unit that I was fighting, And then I went ahead and turned in my evaluation and ran off to do ambuscade for the month, which apparently September's ambuscade is cut shrubs, and they take a lot of damage and deal a lot of damage. Apparently the ones this month have in death on their melee hits, and basically it's a boss cut shrub that uses the model from Voidwatch, and every like 20% or something it actually no, I guess it's just twice actually. It's like at 70% it summons a bunch of ads, and then you gotta kill the ads because they all have in death, and if you don't kill the ads, you're just basically waiting for instant death to proc. And so everyone subs ninja and you fight, and you each take one and you try to keep your ninja shadows up to block the in death hits. And I actually we did it on difficult, not very difficult, just difficult. And I never saw in death proc at all. Although I did note that they were talking about doing it on very difficult, but we weren't doing it on very difficult. And I was just like, oh, are we not doing it on very difficult because I'm a fucking nubcake? Probably. You know, nubcake that hasn't played in a long time. Let's see, grow and harvest, huh? Let's see. I don't think there's anything... Oh, someone actually bought my Elder Sandals? Crazy. I guess Galkas are playing still, even with the RMTs seemingly banned. Undercut everyone! But yeah, so we did like 4 or 5 runs or something, and I got my Abjalis seals and I used them, and since we were doing it on difficult, I got 19,000 hallmarks for the week, but I was just thinking to myself, what do I even spend them on? Because I'm so far beyond ambuscade gear on most of my jobs that it just kind of doesn't matter to me, because I picked up the +1 version of almost every set already. But since I was doing it with actual people, I also got a bunch of gallantry, so I decided to spend my gallantry on Alexandrites, and I actually need less than 20,000 Alexandrites now. I bought some extra Alexandrites just because I noticed I was close to being under 20,000, so I spent like 5 mil on Alexandrites just cause I was like, oh hey, you know, might as well make a dent in it if I'm gonna make a dent in it. Calmwind only needs 19,982 Alexandrites to finish his mythic weapon. But also the Nizal Isle tokens, which I hear that groups for that get it done pretty quickly, within like 5 to 10 hours or something, but my schedule just does not allow for groups these days, I don't think. I've been thinking about running in and doing it on Blue Mage, and just seeing how many tokens I can get, because Blue Mage can annihilate the old Nizal Isle pretty quickly, but I don't know if that's what I should do. I also forgot what I was even doing right now. This is what happens when you don't have a clear direction in 11. You're just like, what do I do? Where do I go? The vodka's probably not helping. I pan-fried steaks for me and my wife tonight in butter and garlic. I use 2 cloves. And, is that the right term? 2 bulbs? Like, you know, you break the garlic up and then you use your press on each individual, like, part of the bulb, I guess, or maybe the parts of the bulb is called the cloves. I don't know. But 2 whole garlic things, and it was pretty good. I kind of wish I'd gotten the steaks out earlier, and also wish I'd bought some like Montreal steak seasoning or something, because the garlic didn't seep into them evenly, and so some of the bites were kind of really bland. But it was pretty good. It wasn't too bad for pan frying a steak. Some nice New York strips picked out at the grocery, and had some giant jumbo baked potatoes with them. It was a good dinner. You know what? We need to make money, don't we? We should do domain invasion, because that was like a daily thing and that helped us. That helped us make money in the past, and we definitely need to make money. Like, I vaguely remember, you know, like, what I was doing when I played last, right? It was, you know, I was grinding job points. I was almost at the end of the 10,000 job point grind to augment my Ragnarok or my relic weapons. Because Calmwind has 3 relic weapons at I-119. Because I'll do anything to put off working on my mythic. And he only needs 582 more job points. I guess now it's like 550 more job points. He's sitting on 33. But that's all he needs to be able to augment relic weapons. Of course, apparently I think he's still got to step inside of Dynamis Divergence, but I think that requires 2 other human being players to actually go with me. I thought it said the next one was Escarouin. Maybe the beast hasn't appeared yet? We might be able to get grow and harvest done if we go plant the thing. I think the like fastest thing grows in like a couple of days or something. Grain seeds are one of the fastest growing plants. Only take a couple of days. Growing seeds growing time is approximately 3 days, and the moon cycle is approximately 3 days, i.e. plant near Vanadil full moon for a harvest near the full moon. They're thought to be fire affinity. We can try, but I don't think we're actually going to make it before October comes around. But we can try. Yeah, I kind of want to get back into this, doing my sortie runs, so I can upgrade Calmwind's Warrior Empyrean armor, so he can have full +3. He's no slouch, even with just, you know, 4 or 5 +3, but after we get full +3 of an Empyrean armor, until we get another job up, like really, really good, we probably just want to focus on I don't know, maybe working towards a prime weapon. Not that we'll probably ever actually wield one, because the amount of Gallimaufry you can make solo is just... I guess you'd get there eventually, but I don't think it would feel good by the time you did. Of course, that's the way I felt about literally every single relic in this game. I just don't feel like they are, like, super rewarding. They look cool and they're prestigious, but like, they aren't really that good. And apparently we still have Cornelia from that time that we shattered the Vanabout records as a player base, and she's going to be available for trusts until December. I'm still not used to having her around, but she's automatic 20% magic haste. So with gear and haste 2 from King of Hearts, we cap haste. Or, well, we cap haste that's available from magic and gear, right? Like from gear we've got 25.3 or something, because 26 is the cap on displayed gear haste or whatever. And King of Hearts gives us 30% from haste 2, and she gives us 20%. But magic haste cap is actually 45%, so our gear goes on top of that. We're at 70% delay reduction at that point. But the only other way to reduce the delay is through job abilities. But as a warrior, like, we're not going to get that much more, because like, you either get Hasso, which is 5% job ability haste, and so you're 5% away from delay reduction cap, or you get Dancer Sub and use Haste Samba, and then you're, again, because it's sub job, you're 5% away from the delay reduction cap. You can't actually get there without actual party members giving you job ability haste, which would require a Dancer main using Haste Samba. I believe. I think that's the only way. But quite honestly, with just capped gear haste and capped magical haste, we're like so close anyway that I don't give a fuck, you know. It's basically what's feasible. Although I'm sure the 80% feels nice if you can actually get there. Come on, Lamias, just get here already. I've run out of things to say. There's an interesting psychological phenomena with people who get attached to certain, you know, well, anything, I guess, right? When you get attached to something, you'll want to be one of the, like, you know, true believers, I guess, is a way to put it, or like one of the, you know, like founding members sort of deal. And for Final Fantasy XI, that's always manifested as sort of a, like, you know, I was here first, I've been here the longest, I never left. You know, Final Fantasy XI is my wife, sort of thing. Is my wife, is my life, you know, like, nobody's more committed to this game than I am, etc., etc., like, you get the idea, right? Excuse me. And, I was reading something the other day. Basically, people were comparing the era that brought in Rhapsodies of Andiel's Eska, these Eska zones and Racing Jima, to the Abyssia era of Final Fantasy XI. They're saying, oh yeah, it's just like Abyssia. It's a separate system with, you know, the Gia's Feet battle system that leads to ultimate weapons, and the focus is on battle content, and you're in areas that are just old areas but reskinned with new monster placement. And it's one of the ways to get the most powerful weapons in the game. And it's exactly the same historically in the game's place. And therefore, you know, I had my Abyssia era too, you know, like in Eska or whatever, you know, like from some person who started like really playing 11 in like 2012 or something, or like 2013, and then, you know, they got really into it for like a decade or half a decade, and like they just want to like feel like they're one of the old salts, and so they talk about Eska like it's Abyssia, but it's not. It's like not even actually remotely the same with how much it altered the gaming landscape. It just happens to share some similarities because it's Final Fantasy XI, and it, like, at that point, you know, they had a sort of design scheme that was working for what they wanted to do with the game. But like, I've felt that way too, right? Like, I started playing 11, like the very first time I ever played 11 was actually on a Japanese client at my friend Preston's house. His dad had managed to get a Japanese client version of the game, and Preston let me play for like all of maybe 15 minutes. And I got to like kill one ornery sheep whose name I couldn't read in West Ronfar. And then he took the controller back and promptly died trying to fight an orc. And then he was like watching somebody else fight the same orc that just killed him. He's like, oh, there's no way he'll win. He's way lower level than me. Blah blah blah. He's only got a bronze sword. He'll lose. He'll lose. And he was just like saying this while the guy was just like steadily killing the orc and not dying. But then after that, and that was like late 2002 or early 2003 or something. And you know, like shortly after the game had come out, like his dad had inroads in tech places. But my brother, my oldest brother, was living at home, and he was working at Walmart at the time. And he managed to score a PlayStation hard drive for the PS2, and he got Final Fantasy XI, and he tried to start it up, and we got through all the Play Online installation and everything. He did most of it. And my brain will work eventually. But we got into the part where you actually download the update file for 11. And we tried and we tried and we tried again. But with the dial-up internet we had at the time, and the fact that we lived in a 5-person household with parents that actually had, like, you know, friends who would call them regularly, the internet would either keep getting knocked off by phone calls, or our parents would demand that we, you know, okay, we're waiting for a call, so you can't be on the internet. The amount of time we had to wait, you know, it just, anytime we actually got like a full day's worth of downloading, basically we would either, the connection would get lost and we'd have to start the download over, or we'd be forced off by our parents. And my brother at the time was like 23 going on 24. And, you know, we got so consternated about it. I complained to my mom. I was just like, hey, you know, like, a lot of our games are requiring the internet now. And, like, you know, it's, like, we can't even get in, you know, Weston spent, you know, $200 on this game, and we can't even get in to play it because, you know, you keep kicking us off the internet. And, you know, if you would please just get us DSL or something, please. You know, it doesn't have to be broadband, but at least DSL. We'd actually just be able to get in and play. And most importantly, you wouldn't have to kick us off ever for the phone line. And you yourself wouldn't have to, you know, choose between being online looking something up or being on the phone. And basically, I don't know if I persuaded her or not. But the end result was early the next spring of 2004, we wound up getting DSL. And once we had DSL, it became a very simple matter of, you know, getting the download file done. And it only took like 6 hours. Oh my god, lightning fast, only 6 hours, and then we can finally play. You know? And then we got to play, but then my brother told me he was moving to Texas. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, don't worry, I'm gonna leave the PlayStation 2 here, and I want you to play this account, and I want you to use and have this account, and I'll pay for it, and I'm gonna get my own account and play, you know, like, we're gonna keep up with each other, and I'm gonna play Final Fantasy Online together in spite of the distance. I was like, oh, that's gonna be super cool. And so we did, right? Like, and that was like really when playing 11 really started. Like, I had played it a few times before then. But that was when I got my character, I got my account. I was all the way in, I was invested, I had, you know, someone to play with. And I'm sure I've spoken about the hiccups before, and I've probably even maybe told this story before, or a variation of it. But I like to feel like, because of that though, because I played on a Japanese client, you know, in early 2003 or late 2002, I don't remember exactly when it was. I like to say I've been around since the beginning, even though, like, no, I don't have any first-hand memories. Like, the only first-hand memory I've got is I could have sworn that my friend Preston was playing a Tarutaru monk in Sandioria, and he was able to equip leather armor. Now, there's a lot of things wrong with his memory, you know, because all he was doing, he was using Cesti as his hand-to-hand weapon, right? He had Cesti. And I think it might have even been Cesti +1 because, you know, it had a little bit of damage and it had a little bit of accuracy. And that was why he was using it. But neither of us could read Japanese. And you know, when I think about it, he might have actually just been playing warrior and using hand-to-hand weapon. I don't actually know. I just assumed he was monk because hand-to-hand. But he went to the NPC. He had been saving up for a couple days, and he went to the NPC and he bought leather armor, and it was a big deal because it was a big upgrade, and he spent a lot of gil, quote unquote. But what was sad was, like, because it was a Japanese client and he couldn't speak Japanese, he couldn't make social connections at all. And so, you know, what wound up happening was he just went back to playing EverQuest. He said, yeah, Final Fantasy 11 sucks, I'm going back to playing EverQuest. And, you know, never have I been, like, more sad because I was just, like, fully enthralled already. Even from that small, you know, that small taste. I wanted to play this game so bad. And I wanted to feel like, you know, I was one of the big shots. Like, I was the best Final Fantasy 11 player in the world. Even though, you know, that's not really all that true, right? Like, I'm pretty good. Like, I know what I'm doing. But I'm not like... Yeah, the the title screen music is super loud, huh? But yeah, I know what I'm doing, but you know, I don't have the dedication level that like people who turn this into their life do, right? Like people got so enthralled with this game, you know, they decided to, you know, make it their life. And take every advantage out of it that they could. You know, they started, you know, buying multiple accounts, automating them, making them farm gil, and then sell the gil to real people who want to just buy the gil and bypass. You know, they already deal with a real economy. In the real world, they don't want to deal with a second economy and being poor a second time, you know? Like, you see it often with people who play MMOs, right? Like, a lot of people actually really enjoy playing the market board scheme, like, because it's easier in a game where there's a lot of things you can take advantage of, and you can even cheat a little bit and, you know, reach the gold cap or the gil cap, and, you know, congratulations, you know, like, you're a kingpin, you know, in this game world, and it feels good. You know, I don't enjoy doing that, but a lot of people do. And the people who really feel like being kingpins, you know, they... they want to use their in-game kingpin status and have it partially reflect outside of the game. Sometimes I feel like it's also just the fact that you could, you know, really common for nerds in the 90s and the early 2000s to be told that, you know, and even nowadays to an extent, there's personalities on the internet that say that playing a video game has no tangible benefit, and if you're just playing video games in your free time, you're wasting your time and wasting your life, and you should be grinding, you know, you should be productive all the time, right? Like, you should work 50 hours a week and then go home and then, like, be hustling a side gig to make even more money. And if you're not, you're a worthless piece of shit, right? So some people being more sensitive to social manipulation like that, they, you know, they turn this game into a way to make extra money. And I can't fault them for that completely, because, like, you know, I've actually known real money traders before, and I asked them, you know, how much are you making a month? Like, is it worth it, right? Like, are you actually, you know, making good money in real life? Like, I mean, you must be, just on some level, just keep doing it, right? If it wasn't worthwhile, you wouldn't do it at all, right? He basically said that, like, on top of his regular job, he was pulling in an extra $1,600 a month after all expenses were accounted for, like the extra computers he needed to run the multiple accounts at the same time that he used for gill farming. And then that, like, you know, he was making like pure profit. And but he said he wouldn't suggest doing it, because the only reason he could do it was he had a lot of extra free time, and he was mainly doing it to help pay his college tuition. Like, you know, it's like pure means to an end. And he's like, if I was working a full-time job, you know, it probably would pay better, and then, like, you know, he wouldn't have the energy to run the characters, because he said even though it was like a lot largely automated, you know, like, he's still having to direct them and do menuing, and it's still, you know, like this, it's like a tedious chore basically. And I said, well, you know, it must be kind of nice, right? Like, you never have to worry about kill in game on your main and stuff. And he said, no, like, my enjoyment for the game is actually completely dissipated. Like, I don't care about anything, because, you know, like, because, you know, the game had become work, had literally become work, right? Like, and I guess to put that in perspective, like, I currently make about 44K a year, and it's not that great. It's would have been better a few years ago before inflation got so high, but it's not that great, right? Like, you know, some people think if you're making 70K a year, you're a poor, and I can't imagine what it's like to be, you know, like, to make 70K a year and then, like, have someone else come up and be like, oh yeah, you're poor. Like, oh, what? You know, but, you know, my paycheck, like, my gross pay is $1,600 and something every 2 weeks, and then my net pay is like $1,350, like $1,355, 31 or something like that. So, like, every month I'm bringing home about, you know, $27.10, 60 after taxes. And he was saying, you know, by playing this game, quote unquote playing, he was bringing in an extra $1,600 on top of his other sources of income. Like, I think that's pretty good. Like, if I could actually do what he was doing right now on top of my job, I mean, I don't know if I would, because I don't view gaming that way. Like, I don't think you should ever turn one of your favorite games into a job. But at the same time, you know, we've all got life goals and life, like, you know, desires and needs. And if I could, you know, like, An extra $1,600 a month would be crazy, right? That would be basically an extra paycheck a month. And if it's RMT, right? Like I don't even know how he handled that with his taxes, right? Like, do you like say, oh yeah, I'm doing illicit video game trading, like that's how I make money? Like, it's gotta be all under the table and tax free, right? Because otherwise he's getting caught, and like I don't know, I don't know how he handled that part of it at all. I didn't think to ask that at the time. But I assume it would have been under the table, because, you know, how else would you, like you want to go to the IRS, oh yeah, I got $1,600 in tips at my fake business that doesn't give me a W-2, you know, I don't know how RMTs handle that. I assume that RMT is just unregulated income, honestly, like, since it's not, it's illegal, like it's against the game's terms of service, so it's illegal, it's unlawful. It breaks the rules. But like because of that, how, like, is there a way that you would actually report it, like to the authorities at large, or are you just making money and being comfortable with the fact that, like, if Uncle Sam ever busts your door down and finds out you've been making this extra money and they're not getting a cut, and it's not like I actually, I'm not into big government. Like, I'm not exactly a libertarian, but we are definitely too heavily taxed. Pretty much everywhere. Like, governments, they spend irresponsibly everywhere. And it's ridiculous how much we have to give them, right? It goes so far beyond maintaining the welfare of the nation, right? Like the roads and things, like, like you hear it all the time, right? Like recently, like, what was it that she bungled? There was something recently that Kamala Harris, like, within the last 4 years, she was supposed to have spent, I think it was like $58 billion on to fix, and not only did the problem not get fixed, with $58 billion spent on it, literally nothing about it changed, and literally nothing, like no actual physical actions came of saying, hey, we're gonna, throw money at this problem. Like, we're gonna throw money at this problem, and everyone who was intending on lining their pockets with money will line their pockets, and the money will not even touch the problem. Like, it won't even, like, it's not actually, we're saying we're throwing it at the problem, basically, but we're not actually throwing it at the problem. And that just happens over and over again, right? That's not road maintenance, that's not, like, firefighter, bank or whatever, like, that's not the police force. No, we tried. We weren't able to get the last hit. Oh. Sad for us. That means we can pull hate and get killed. But honestly, what should happen during this fight is the person with the buff should be using a high hate stuff and tanking, because they're immune to the charm. So we shouldn't be getting fucking charmed at all. But people are dumb, so we're gonna get Valinor out, because I don't trust these fuckers. One of my biggest pet peeves about this Raisin Jima domain invasion. It's just the fact that, like, they're, like, people, like, are shitters. And, like, yeah, it's basically the equivalent of a harmless practical joke, right? Like, you're not actually dead in real life. You didn't lose any exemplar points in-game either, but I don't know, it's the principle of the thing, like, I've killed my fair share of charmed people, and I've been charmed and killed other people, and like, sometimes it's hilarious. I don't know, whenever it happens to me, I get a little bit mad. I'm just like, I didn't want to die, I didn't want to get charmed, I didn't want to, you know, do any of that, but I did, and it sucks. But we got the kill shot. Also, excuse me, I did not mean to burp. I don't know, when you listen to me and I burp like that when I'm talking, like, you hear it, right? Like, the fact that I burped, does it disgust you? Like, you know, it's not like a belch, right? It's just, it's like, I'm talking so much that my gut's filling up with air, because it can't all go in my lungs. And then eventually I burp, and there's nothing I can do about it. Like, I don't even feel it coming out, it just comes out. Can we get some money, please? Oh, we already tried that. Oops. Yeah, I guess I'll just occasionally record episodes here and there doing, like, whatever. Like, the goals would be to show off, I guess, augmenting Ragnarok, but also, I don't know. I guess I try to show off, like, if I ever complete the fucking mythic, show off that. Oh man, is Dumakulam's stuff just louder than the other characters, or am I stupid? Or maybe both. It feels louder. I thought the config, though, was like... Yeah. Okay, that was weird. I hope that didn't, like, interrupt the recording. Forgot they added that menu in there. Whenever I come to the config menus of 11, I just kind of, like, go through all of them until I find what I'm looking for, because I don't ever remember where anything is. I just don't keep up with it at all. Okay, maybe that'll help a little bit. I don't know. I thought those were shared between characters, but maybe not. all I've really got in my future in game is like earn gil some more. You know, dump all the gil on items that move, you know, the needle on making a mythic or an Empyrean or whatever ever so slightly, and then repeat until it's done. And it's a process that takes months and months for someone like me. And I don't know how to keep up with recording that. I've said it again and again, like, I could just do some side quests, right? But I think I mentioned before, I have limited playtime, so like, if I do the side quests, then I'm not doing the stuff. But it's like, I guess I could record more often if I just do the side quests, and maybe give an update on like what I'm actually doing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just destined to be here to ramble and meander and muck about. Meander and muck about. Meander and muck about. My wife's actually sick right now. She's developed a sore throat and cough. And I'm not sure if she's going to give it to me or if I already gave it to her, because last week, towards the end of the week, so I guess about a week ago, I was having fever chills and fever sweats all throughout the day, several days in a row. And basically I guess nipped it in the bud. I just like guzzled orange juice every day several times and took ibuprofen and, you know, tried to get as much sleep as possible. Took my multivitamins, tried to eat a little less sugar, drink a little more water, and eventually I just kind of like woke up one day and didn't have fever sweats, so that was nice. But I don't know if I actually ever got over it, because my nose has been producing ridiculous amounts of snot. And I don't have any other symptoms, but because yeah, I don't know if it's because the election is like, what, like a month away now? But you're starting to see murmurs online again of, oh, COVID, 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 COVID. And I've seen guests at the hotel I work at just full-time wearing masks again, because people say, it's COVID season, and they're like, it's COVID season, wear masks. And it's just like, no, you idiots. Hysteria around that was overblown because of the severity at which the globalists wanted to win the election in America at the time, and so they did what they always do. And, you know, you always see these like culture war videos, right? Like where people try to like get people to care about politics through the personal, you know, like you get that mantra, everything is political, and then you get the person who's slightly in the know and slightly old who kind of knows about it. That's like, that's just a rewording of the personal is political, and it comes from this, and blah blah blah. And it's just like, well, you know, obviously politics is built off of, you know, the individual needs that eventually become a collective need, which translates into, you know, the person who oversees those needs is in power. You know, they tell people what to do. They make the decisions. So they're shot caller. They're the king, right? But you know, it ripples outwards now in our world, right? Where we're connected by the internet and we're connected by headlines. And, you know, there's these overarching organizations like the World Economic Forum and, you know, other things similar to that try to carouse and sort of like guide politicians into their positions to then be favorable to their organization, and then basically directly but indirectly control nations. You know, like obviously they've got a guy that they basically groomed for the position to give them favor in, you know, national control positions. But then, you know, they're not going to actually explicitly, you know, out loud in public say, do this and make your nation do this. There's this dramatic oversight that I feel no one, like, a lot of people are talking about in, like, different ways. You know, like, a lot of people agree that, like, the World Economic Forum is bad and it overreaches the rule of law on a, you know, a nation-by-nation basis. But no one knows what to do about it, right? And it's like, oh, well, you know, they're just a bunch of rich guys meeting. We can't just, like, storm in there and, like, tell them what to do. I think we can, though. I think if we got some politicians that were actually had some spine, they could, you know, say, hey, World Economic Forum, you've overstepped your bounds. You're all criminals and have violated multiple constitutions and or other systems of governance, and you need to be held in check. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean, you know, you should control people. But, you know, money talks. You know, who are you gonna convince to go bust down their door when they're just gonna pay that same guy to not bust down their door, you know? Listen to all those Gonka grunts. It's like if I keep up with it, we can make, I guess in about 3 days, we can make, depending on the price of worm ash, we can make about 4 million. And then in 5 days, another 2 million, but that assumes that worm ash is still at 2 million or more. I think it's wild that even in this older MMO, this older virtual world experience, that one of the things that's most tangible about it as a simulation is that there's another economy that like directs and controls how we engage with the game. Like, you know, the real world, it determines how we engage with the world, but you wouldn't think you'd run into that in a video game, but here we are. I think it's under alchemy, maybe? I think it's a reagent. Or mash there. Currently 40 on the auction house. Oh, 2.5 mil. Okay. So yeah, okay. So even if it fluctuates a little bit, goes up a little bit, or goes down a little bit, you just safely say in about 5 days we'll have 6 million more gil. Or if it stays at where it's at right now and actually sells for that amount, close to 7 million. That'd be nice if I can actually the fuck is a water barrel? Furnishing, okay. I doubt it's worth much, but we could check on that before we draw this video to a close. Sorry, it wasn't more 11-centric and was just sort of a watch me do menial tasks while rambling. But perhaps that's all 11 is anyway. Okay, well, thanks for watching, stay safe, and have a great day, and I'll see you again next time.